Over the past few weeks, I've been seeing this movie being boasted as one of the scariest movies of 2020. The reviews on Rotten Tomatoes would make you think that this movie has revolutionized internet webcam horror movies. That this movie was the horror movie to see because it was just so unique.
This is a very unique movie for many different reasons.
So, I watched it. And oh boy. Long story short, at the end of the movie, I looked blankly at the wall and said, I hated that. I hate this. If this is the standard for horror, no wonder no one takes it seriously. This isn't to offend anyone who liked this movie, but let's be honest with ourselves, shall we? I would go through the plot, but there isn't much to say about it. A group of friends who are introduced with a quarantine reference because of current world events. None of them have anything interesting going on. As far as characters go, there really isn't much here to go with. Haley has done this before and is hosting the call. Gemma is the annoying friend who thinks she's quirky. Emma is the young at heart one who loves face filters and dresses like a fairy princess. Caroline sets up that she has too much time on her hands. Radina has relationship issues or something, and Teddy has a music box that used to scare him when he was little, basically introducing things that will be used to kill them later on. They are going to do a Zoom call seance and are supposed to take it seriously, and of course there are a couple of clowns who don't give a shit. Which conjures up a dark spirit, and from there on, it's your standard Paranormal Activity internet jump scare video. Seriously, this movie ends the same way that commercial with the car does, with a pop-up. Not a very good one either. There were a couple of scenes and moments in the movie that I was like, hey, that's kind of cool, but most of the time I was bored. This movie is not good, and to quote myself again here, wow, I hated that. I hate this. I did laugh pretty hard when Gemma got smacked with a bottle of wine. It's basically a bunch of uninteresting people doing something spooky and end up dead because of it. The Blair Witch Project has a similar ending to Host, but the Blair Witch Project did it much better. Heather is screaming for her friend Mike in a run-down old basement. Her screams are shrill, and it's dark, except the light of her camera. Mike never answers and instead waits in a corner where Heather finds him. Before she could react, she's struck down by an unseen force, and the movie ends. Now we're going to compare this scene to the end of Host. Warning for spoilers, not that it matters. Gemma, after hilariously receiving a head injury, has found Haley, who was hiding under her desk for some reason, and they do the COVID handshake. After that, they slowly walk to the living room when we have this jump out at us. Yeah, pretty scary. Jump scares do not equal scary. There was no attempt at a dark, spooky atmosphere. The only good in this movie that I could see is how well it's treated the horror community. The cast has been giving interviews to other reviewers, which I think is great. For that, I commend them, but it doesn't change that this movie isn't all it's cracked up to be. You could have easily slapped Unfriended 3 on the title and it would fit right in. And that's not a compliment, by the way. If you want to watch someone who's uninteresting stare at a webcam and do something spooky, come watch me on Twitch. I play Dead by Daylight. I've been playing Fall Guys too, and I got a few new games to play. Who knows, maybe I'll conjure up an internet demon who'll kill me live. Could be fun. This movie isn't the greatest thing in internet horror, but it's not the worst, I guess. It's easily forgettable as a horror movie on its own. Acting was mediocre, there wasn't much of a plot, and the jump scares made me roll my eyes so hard that I gave myself a headache. 1 tombstone out of 5. Let's bury this one in the back of the graveyard. There are other great, amazing things on Shudder to watch, and I love this streaming service for what it provides, but Host ain't worth your time. And I know I'm probably getting a lot of shit from the horror community for this, but sorry guys. Stay groovy.